Assalamu alaikum. In this lecture we will discuss about how we can send and receive data from one activity to the second activity. So there are two types of sending data with intents. One is data and second is extra. In data we send information or a message using a URI. Basically we attach a URI with the intent, and on the receiving activity we retrieve the URI and we can utilize this URI to retrieve any information from Android device. Secondly, we can use extras. In extras we send information which is a collection of key value pair. We send message with a key value. On the receiving side we use we can retrieve the message using a key. So how it works, how we can send and retrieve data. So first step is to create an intent object. As in the previous lecture we saw what is the purpose of intent. We saw how we can navigate from one activity to the second activity. We can start a new activity from one activity using an intent object. So when we create an intent object, we add some data, we put some data or an extras into the intent. Then we start an activity using the start activity function. On the receiving activity, we get the intent object and retrieve the data, or extra from the intent object. So basically data is attached to the intent when the activity is started from first activity. On the second activity we retrieve that particular data or an extra from an intent object. So this is an example of putting a URI as an intent data. So when we create an intent object, we call this function setData and we pass a URI to the intent. We can pass a URI which could be a web page or link to a web page, or we can add a URI which could be a path to a file. In this example it is a sample.jpg file which is a path to a image. So put information into extras. So second type is we add information using extras. So extra is the combination of a key and a value. So key is nothing more than a string. We use key as a string. Basically it should be a unique value. We give a unique value to a key, and on second argument we pass a value. This value could be a intent, this value could be a integer, this value could be a string or any character. In second case we can see that string name, this is the key value, and the second is the message which is a string. So we can pass integer, string, character or any data type to the extras. We can use put extras as well. In this function the argument is bundle. Bundle is basically an object which contains all the data types. We can add integer, string or any character value to the bundle, and we can add this bundle to the intent. So how to send data to an activity within extras? So on the first step we need to create a message key, and this key could be any unique value. So the best way to create a key, we can use the package name, because the package name of an application is a unique value. It cannot be repeated. So if you want to create your own key, it could be a number, let's say 123, or a number plus string, but it should be unique. We create an intent object as we saw in the last lecture. The first argument is the this, and the second argument is the activity name to which we want to navigate from this particular activity. Now we create a message, a string message, which is we add hello activity, and then we add this key value and a message to the intent using put extra function. And in the last step we create we call the start activity function and pass this intent object into the start activity method. On the receiving activity, we get data. If we pass in data, we get it using the get data, and get data will return a URI. If we send the extras from the first activity, then we receive using the get intent extra. So remember I told you the message could be an integer, string, character, byte, or any other data type. If we pass the message as an integer, we receive it using get int extras. If we pass the message as a string, the second argument will be the string, and in that particular case the message the function will be get string extra. Third point was the bundle. We call intent.get extras. This function will return a bundle object, and this object will contain the key value key and the message, so we can access our message from this bundle object on the receiving activity. So returning data to the starting activity, there could be some situation where we send data from the one activity to the second activity, but there are possibilities that the second activity also return messages to the first activity. So if we want to implement this particular task, we use the start activity for result instead of start activity. To start an activity, we call the function start activity, but in this particular case, if we want to send a message back to the first activity, we will call start activity for result. So first step in the second activity, where we want to send the data back to the first activity, we create a new intent object and we put the response data into the intent using put extras. Then we set some parameters. Number one parameter is result underscore OK. This parameter, this result could be result underscore OK or result underscore cancelled. If the second activity sent a data back to the first activity, we set it as a result underscore OK. If the second activity does not want to send the result back to the first activity, we set this parameter as a result underscore cancelled. And in the last step, we call the finish function. Finish function will just close the existing activity. And on the receiving side, in this case the receiving side is the activity number 1. We implement on activity result. This function will retrieve the data from the second activity. So how to implement the start activity for result to retrieve a data from the second activity? This function contains two arguments. Number one is intent and number two is request code. Our request code is a unique identifier to an activity. For example, we have 4 activities in our application, and from main activity we can go to activity number 2, activity number 3, or an activity number 4. So we allocate a request code to activity 2, for example code number 2, and we assign a code 3 to an activity 3 and a code 4 to an activity 4. When an activity return a result, we check for the request code. If the request code is 2, we know the activity 2 has returned the result. If the request code is 3, we know the result has been sent by the activity number 3. So we start activity intent and assign it identifier using the request code. So when this process is completed, we retrieve the data from an intent object in the first activity. We close this particular activity and return back to the main activity. So this is an example of start activity for result. We create an intent object. The first argument is this means the context, and in the second argument we give the name of an activity which we want to navigate. In this case, this is choose food items activity. So we are navigating to choose food items activity. And then we call the function start activity for result, and we assign a code to this particular activity. So the code number 1, we call this 1 is a code. It is assigned to the activity named choose food items activity. So return data and finish second activity. On the second activity, how to return a data? We create an intent object, new intent object, for example reply intent. We put a message using a put extra. In a similar way, we put an extra from a first activity to the second activity, and then we set a parameter which is set result as a result underscore OK. If you don't want to send back to the activity, we set this parameter as a result underscore cancel, so that the activity number 1 would know that activity 2 has not sent any information. In the last step, we call the finish function and we get back to the activity 1. In the first activity, which is the receiving activity, in this case we first check for the request code. So if the request code is number 1, then we know that activity 1 has returned some text or some messages. Then we check for the result code. If result code is equal to result underscore OK, it's mean the activity has returned some result. If this parameter is result underscore cancel, it's mean activity did not send any information or a message. In that particular case, we will just abort this message, abort this function. So in this way we get information or a message back from a second activity. So navigation is the most important factor in Android application. We navigate from an activity 1 to the activity 2, then activity 3, we navigate back to activity 2 or an activity 1. For example, we have an application to place an order for a store. There will be a main activity which shows different options to the user. How this navigation work? Previously we saw that we can navigate from activity 1 to the activity 2 using a intent object. Remember, when we navigate from activity 1 to the activity 2 and then from an activity 2, if we press a back button, that activity from that application will navigate back to the activity 1. So how does it work? It works like a stack. As we already know, stack is a last in first out. So when we open a multiple activities, launches a multiple activities, for example activity 1, 2, 3, 4, all these activities are pushed into a stack. So when we press the back button, the topmost activity of a stack popped out and it will resume to the previous activity. So if we open an activities, 4 activities in a sequence, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3 and then activity 4. So on the top of the stack there will be an activity 4. So if we press a back key from an activity 4, it will navigate in a reverse order. So from the activity 4 it will return to the activity 3, and from activity 3 it will return to activity 2, and from activity 2 it will return back to the activity 1, which is our main activity. Let's take an example to understand more about this activity navigation. In this particular example we have 3 activities. Number 1 is the main activity, and number 2 is the food activity list, and number 3 is the cart activity list, and then we have an other activity, order activity. So we have 4 activities in our application. This application is used to place an order for online delivery. From main activity, user can select a food item. If user select a food item, it will navigate to the food list activity. From food list activity, user can add this food to the cart. So from the cart activity, if user press the back button, it will navigate back to the food list activity, because these 3 activities has been added into the stack. So on the top of the stack we have cart activity. If we press the back button, this topmost activity will be closed, and we will jump back to the second most activity in the stack, which is the food list activity. From the food list activity, if user again add a item to the cart, it will jump to the cart activity. From cart activity, if the user confirms the order, it will navigate to the order activity. When user finishes the order, it will jump directly to the main activity, and in the all the 3 activities, which is the food list activity, cart activity and order activity, will be closed like this. So in this case, stack contains only the main activity. So from this example we came to know, when we navigate between the activities, when we open an activities is added into the stack and it will navigate back in a reverse order. If we open main activity and then we open a food list activity, then we open a cart activities, and then we open a order activity. So if we press a back button, it will navigate in a reverse order, and on every back key pressed, the topmost activity from the stack will be removed. So there are 2 forms of navigation. This navigation is navigate back to the previous activity. So number 1 is the back navigation, which we already discussed. This is the back key available on the Android phone at the bottom of the Android screen. When we press this back key, the Android application is navigated back to the previous activity from the stack. So this method is implemented using the stack. The second is a ancestral navigation or an up navigation. This navigation is implemented by the parent-child relationship of an activities in an Android manifest. To implement this up navigation, we need to create a parent-child relationship in an Android manifest.xml. We discussed in the previous lecture, when we create a new activity and the activity tag is added automatically into Android manifest.xml file. So in this case, how we can create a parent-child relationship? For example, we have an activity named show dinner activity, and we want to assign a parent to this activity, which is a main activity. For this we need to add this tag Android parent activity name, and we assign a name which will be defined as a parent for this activity. In this case, the parent of show dinner activity is assigned as a main activity. So once we have done this, when we press the up navigation button from the show dinner activity, it will navigate back to the main activity. So with this I will conclude this lecture. In this lecture we have discussed about sending and receiving data from an activity 1 to an activity 2, and we can send back data from an activity 2 to an activity 1 using an intent and using our data. And then we discussed about the navigation, and there is a built-in navigation which is implemented using a stack. When we open a multiple activities, all those activities are added into stack, and when we press the back key from an Android device, it will navigate back to the previous activity, and all those activities will be popped out from the stack. For the up navigation, we create a parent-child relationship using an Android manifest.xml file. To learn more about these topics, you can follow these links available on the end of the slide. You can read about Android application fundamental, Android activities, intents, and navigation.